watching PastEra, where history comes alive.
5,000 years ago, when the world was still learning to shape its destiny, along the golden banks of the Nile, a civilization rose so mighty that time itself seemed to bow before it. This was the kingdom of the Pharaohs, an empire born from sand, sun, and divine ambition. It all began with a young, determined ruler named Narmer. He was the man who united the two lands of Upper and Lower Egypt into one powerful nation. Standing beneath the blazing sun, he wore the double crown for the very first time, promising his people a kingdom that would outlive stone and storm. With him began the age of kings who believed they were chosen by the gods, their bloodline mixed with divine purpose. They weren't just rulers. They were living bridges between the heavens and the earth. Centuries passed, and from the desert sands, a new, impossible vision began to rise: the Great Pyramids of Giza. Pharaoh Khufu, a ruler with an ambition larger than life itself, ordered a tomb that would touch the heavens. Imagine the scene: thousands of workers carving giant stones under the burning sky, their chants echoing along the river. They weren't just building a tomb. They were constructing a stairway to eternity, a machine to guide their king safely into the afterlife. And even now, after 4.5 millennia, Khufu's pyramid still stands, a silent giant defying wind, weather, and the endless march of time. Then came a figure who shattered every rule written by men: Hatshepsut. She was a woman who dared to become a king. She wore the pharaoh's false beard, sat on the throne of gods, and commanded armies. But her reign wasn't about war. It was about prosperity. She transformed Egypt into a powerhouse of trade, sending grand expeditions to the distant land of Punt. Her ships returned laden with gold, exotic woods, and fragrant incense. Under her rule, Egypt didn't just conquer. It flourished, building stunning temples and monuments that celebrated a golden age of peace and wealth. Hatshepsut proved that a pharaoh's strength wasn't just in their sword, but in their vision. But peace in the ancient world never lasts. Egypt's greatness attracted powerful rivals, and the sands of power shifted once again. This time they shifted in favor of Thutmose III, the warrior pharaoh. He was a military genius, often called the Napoleon of ancient Egypt. He marched his armies across Asia and Africa, fighting 17 campaigns and remaining undefeated. He carved Egypt's name into foreign mountains and expanded the empire to its largest borders. Under Thutmose, Egypt became a superpower long before the word even existed, its influence stretching from the heart of Africa to the shores of the Euphrates. Generations later, a young dreamer took the throne and changed everything. His name was Akhenaten. In a world of 1,000 gods, he called for just one: the Aten, the sun disk. He abandoned the old temples and built a brand new sunlit city in the middle of the desert called Amarna. His revolution was bold, artistic, and deeply spiritual. But it was also dangerous. The old priests lost their power and the kingdom was shaken to its core. After his death, the backlash was swift and total. Egypt tried to erase his memory, tearing down his temples and chiseling his name from every stone, as if the king who challenged tradition had never even lived. Next, a boy king ascended the throne, his name destined to travel further than any pharaoh before him: Tutankhamun. Crowned at just 9 years old, his reign was short and his influence small. He was a fragile king who reversed his father's revolution and restored the old gods. For 3,000 years he was little more than a forgotten name. But then, in 1922, his tomb was discovered, completely untouched. The world was suddenly face to face with the glittering golden splendor of pharaonic Egypt. His iconic golden mask became a symbol of an age no one could forget, a window into a lost world of unimaginable treasure. The last great echo of the pharaohs was Ramses II, often known as Ramses the Great. He was the ultimate pharaoh, a master builder, a fearless warrior, and a brilliant propagandist. He reigned for 67 years, building temples so vast they seemed to pierce the horizon. He fought epic battles, like the legendary clash at Kadesh, and carved his name on more monuments than any ruler in history. Under Ramses, Egypt shone like a star refusing to fade, enjoying one final spectacular blaze of glory. Yet even the mightiest empires must fall. After centuries of invasions, internal struggles, and economic decline, the age of the pharaohs slowly slipped beneath the sands of time. But their legacy? That never died. Today, the pyramids still stand guard over the desert. Mummies sleep in silent museum halls, and hieroglyphs whisper forgotten stories from temple walls. The world still looks back across 5,000 years in all of the pharaohs of Egypt. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from history.